Joining us once again, Harvard astrophysicist Dr. Avi Loeb. Dr. Loeb, great to see you. I want you to know we reached out directly to the NASA administrator and the new NASA administrator, and we have yet to get a response, which is very unusual. What do you think is really going on here?
Well, very graciously, Representative Anna Paulina Luna reached out to NASA through a letter a week ago. She didn't receive a response, but she met with NASA officials yesterday and said that they told her that indeed bureaucratic reasons are preventing the release of the data. But we still have to wait until the government shutdown is over. That's what she was told. They also mentioned that indeed the anti-tail of this object is surprising. That was observed in July and August. As of yesterday, there were images taken of 3I Atlas after its passage through perihelion closest to the sun. That's when it received 770 watts per square meter. It was heated, yet we don't see any tail. It doesn't look like a comet. So the images, which are the highest resolution we should have from NASA, would be very valuable in assessing the nature of this object.
Well, exactly. And those images continue to be hidden from the public. People have seen these. People that work at NASA have seen the images. I don't buy this bogus excuse that over the last 37 plus days, they couldn't release the photos because nobody's at NASA. People are working at NASA every single day, Dr. Loeb. I know you know this. And then this happened. So Sean Duffy was the acting NASA administrator until yesterday. They have a new NASA administrator, which is also just the timing is so bizarre. And Sean Duffy just posted this in response to Kim Kardashian, of all people, saying no aliens, no threat to life here on Earth. Dr. Loeb, can we say definitively now that this thing has come out from the other side of the sun, that this is not alien technology? Can you say that tonight?
No, we need more data. We need to observe it. That's the way science is done. We should stay curious. And I invited Kim Kardashian to join my research team on 3I Atlas if she is very curious. She shouldn't ask bureaucrats to answer questions. The scientists are engaged with the data. And I very much look forward to seeing the high-rise images from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. As of this morning, the Chinese Space Agency, the Chinese administration, released their data from a camera that is inferior to high-rise, but not much inferior. And they look, we can see a fuzzy blob of light from Mars on the same date of the 3rd of October when it came from 3I Atlas very close.
We keep talking about this, and it's just so odd to me. At some point, you know, these photos were taken October 2nd. At some point, we're not going to need those images because this thing will be hovering over, you know, Times Square or something. We'll be able to see it with the naked eye. To your point a moment ago, NASA is not the only player here. New images were released from the Spanish observatory showing no tail on this at all, which is very unusual for a comet. We are also seeing a change in color, which cannot be explained. Do you have any explanation for this, Dr. Loeb?
Actually, the most interesting development over the past week is a non-gravitational acceleration was detected for 3I Atlas, meaning that it deviated from a trajectory shaped by gravity alone. And I calculated that it should have lost at least 10% of its mass in order to get that velocity boost. And I expected that we would see a very massive cloud of gas around it, resulting from cometary evaporation with a cometary tail, a very clear cometary. However, there were images taken yesterday, didn't show that. So it's puzzling, and obviously we should be curious. And, you know, the European Space Agency released their images. The Chinese Space Administration released their images. I mean, NASA should be competitive.
NASA should. NASA should, and I'm not going to stop talking about this story until NASA and our own government does the right thing. Dr. Loeb, can I just ask you, over the last, 3 months that we've had you on, have you seen a lot more funding for your research and your programs?
No.
You haven't? People aren't donating?
Well, they did donate before.
Giving you
and,
grants, that sort of thing?
I'm very much grateful. So we do have the Galileo project funded by donations. We established an observatory on top of the sphere, as I mentioned in the podcast with Joe Rogan. So we are conducting our research. But
well, the reason I ask, you're not putting us all on here, and I don't think you are. But that's not part of this, is it?
No. I mean, this object is really puzzling, and you know, there is a huge amount of interest in the public. The public funds science; it funds NASA through taxes, and we expect information to flow seamlessly.
Dr. Loeb, I appreciate you coming on. Just 15 seconds. What is the next chapter in this saga? 15 seconds.
In the coming weeks, we should get much better data because it will move away from the sun, and we could observe 3I Atlas. And in fact, there is a campaign that will take place, and the most important time is December 19th, when it comes closest to Earth, within 250 million kilometers. Let's just hope that it will not deliver any unwanted gifts for the holidays to Earth.
We will be here that day, and I hope you will join us that day as well. Dr. Avi Loeb, thank you again.